Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of our My Driver NASCAR career mode here on the channel. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we have the start of the Truck Series playoffs coming your way, as well as we have a subscriber race here at Five Flags Speedway. Now, as you can see, everybody coming through turns 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever turn you want here in a 15-lap dash, as it was Jimmy Cricket out in front in that number 12. Now, as you see, subscribers as well as content creator like Frozen Toes, as well as a couple of my friends of Eddie, MJ, and RJ all in the field here, battling it out here once again now. But it was a relatively calm race for the number 12 of Jim Cricket here, as there really wasn't a whole lot of pressure put on him, as he would pretty much dominate this whole race lead every single lap. The 77 of Bryce Egan would put some pressure on him in the closing moments of this race, but it just wasn't enough here for Jim Cricket, who would come through to actually be able to lead the way to this final lap through turns 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And as he leads the way into 3 and 4, no pressure from behind there. The 77 has nothing for him. It is going to be Jim Cricket winning the second race of 5 or 6, I think it is, here in the subscriber series. Now, as you see the rest of the field coming through to cross the line, we'll check out the standings here in just a second. As you see the rest of the drivers coming through, RJ had another really rough race. I'm not sure what is going on with him exactly, but I'm assuming something maybe got glitched with the ratings, because everybody's supposed to have the same rating. But you can clearly tell something's going on with RJ there. So I'm going to try and work on fixing that here as we jump through into the start of the playoffs. I showed the grid after the last episode. And of course, we will update the grid here after each and every single race. We're going to do 2 races here in today's episode. And then in the next episode, we will finish off the first round. And we're only a couple episodes away from the Xfinity series. And then there's some things happening in Xfinity that I can't say yet, but you'll understand why it'll be maybe a bit of a shorter season in the Xfinity series here. But we qualified on pole for the first race of the playoffs here in Dover. Things were looking pretty good heading into this first race now. 60 laps at Dover. I was very excited for this one here now, especially starting on pole, and it's not a mile and a half. Mile and a half has been my big kind of issue this season here in our rookie season in the My Driver career mode. I really haven't been able to get those down as we lead the field to the green flag here now, as it's a 15, 15, and 30 set of stages here. So definitely just basically stage 1, 2, I've kind of had the same objective every time we come to these types of tracks that are on the shorter side, is simply save tires as much as possible in stage 1 and 2, and we don't always know. Sometimes the AI pit at the end of stage 1, so it can really go either way. And you can see I wasn't pushing. I get cleared by John Hunter Nemechek, and I don't even lead the first and opening lap, but I was okay with that. I want to save my tires, and then I save in 1 and 2, and then in stage 3 we can really push the truck as hard as we want to. Well, not as hard as we want to. There's still some saving element there in stage 3, because you can still burn your tires up, but I certainly wasn't pushing anything in stage 1 and 2, and I know we have the benefit of having a good chunk of playoff points coming into this playoff, so there isn't too much to lose by giving up a handful of positions here in these opening stages early on in the playoffs. Matt Crafton's actually going to take us 3 wide in the middle now, as we got Cornelius on the inside. Cornelius probably not going to do us any favors there in the regular season finale. We kind of hurt his opportunity to go for a race win there in Watkins Glen. But we obviously took that away from him, nearly hooking him head on into the barrier going into the right-hand carousel. We also got passed by Jonathan Ramos, IDK player, and we just chilled in about 7th place or so for basically the remainder of this first and opening stage. We come through to the start of the final lap here in stage 1. In P7, I was pretty happy with that, because like I said, I wasn't pushing anything here in stage 1, so holding on to P7 was quite refreshing for me, because usually when I'm not pushing, we go down to like 19th place or something. So John Hunter Nemechek, though, nonetheless comes through to win another stage, with first stage of the playoffs, and pick up yet another playoff point that I'm sure will lead him all the way to the final 4 at this point. Here is Ben Rhodes, Creed, Crafton as well come through there. Cornelius in the top 5. There we are in P7. Cook, Smith just behind. As the stage would come to a close, we would come to the pit lane. Surprisingly, everybody comes into the pit lane here, so we would put 4 tires on the trucks and feel, and we gain a good bit of ground here on the pit stop. We go from 7th to 3rd for the start of stage 2, but I had the same exact philosophy coming into the start of stage 2. First of all, I get off the restart not very good. I saw a comment, it was like Gary's like new quote is just like, didn't get a good start or something like that. That's pretty common for me to say in this series, so I agree with that. But once again, the philosophy in stage 2, don't push at all. I'm not going to push this truck. I'm going to try and make sure we at least hold on to 10th place and above, but the main thing here is just getting to stage 3 with a really good set of tires and being able to push in stage 3. There you see the rest of the field coming through there towards the back. Hocevar, Michael Mertz, he's kind of fallen off lately here in this My Driver series now. He had an early stretch there in the mid part of the regular season where he was doing really good, putting up good numbers, performances, and was closing in on a playoff spot. Was actually briefly in the playoffs, but unfortunately didn't work out there for Mertz. Now, as we come through a little bit later here on just lap 21, he got Cook just behind us, but like I said, no pushing from me. So if these guys get alongside like that right there with Cook to my outside and that 00 Taco Bell Silverado, I'm not really going to force it too hard and allow him to just go around my outside there. And Ismael Cornelius, he's going to go around my outside, and we continue to drop down the order. And I was pushing the same amount as stage one, but what was surprising was this time around, I was definitely losing a lot more than in stage one. So these guys must have been pushing quite a bit harder than they were in stage one, which was a bit surprising to see, because usually if they pit at the end of stage one, they will not pit at the end of stage two. So I was surprised to see them pushing as hard as they were. And we come through now to lap 25, just about 5 laps to go here in stage two. We get passed by Ryan Truex, and we're down to 9th place. Haley Deegan to our back bumper, she would actually fall back a little bit, and then you see Ben Rhodes would go around my outside. So we dropped down to the 10th spot, only 1 stage point currently for us, and that is exactly where I would get to a point where I'm like, okay, well, we at least got to hang on to 1 stage point. So I stepped it up just a little bit, but still was saving, and it would be enough to hold on to 10th place as we came through to this final lap of stage 2. And John Hunter Nemechek, just unbelievable speed as usual here as he comes through, leading the way out of turn 4. He will sweep the first 2 stages. Crafton's going to be second there in stage 2. Then you got Jonathan Ramos, who's not declared for truck points, so still a good result for him, and he's going to be a serious threat next season when he is a full-time Truck Series regular there, as you see the rest of the field coming through to cross the line. So caution comes out, and I was ready to go green here for the start of stage 3. I was pretty confident because we've done such a good job saving our tires so far, and we at least held onto a decent position here as stage 3 gets underway. John Hunter has been really good on the restart so far here today in Dover. He's been really able to take off and get clear before the start-finish line of anybody now. As you can see, he's got a 2 truck length lead basically right there on Ramos through the center of 1 and 2. Haley Deegan there, we get clear of her on the exit of turn 2. I'm going to slice to the inside real quick of Ben Rhodes down this back straight away into turn 3. Very close quarters right there. A little bit of contact actually with the Thor Sport driver of Rhodes. He goes up the track, we save it, and then Truex actually got forced up the track as well here as we go to the back now of Kligerman. A few moments later up the inside of him, we're going to clear that 75 and continue to move our way forwards here. Now behind Cook as well as Creed. Now as you see a bit of a stack up right there, and I'm really able to get this truck going, and we clearly have good pace, but the caution comes out and we nearly get hooked into the outside wall by Cook as the caution comes out. What has happened there? As I mean, we were relatively clean on the restart, but it was actually Austin Wayne Self who brings out the caution. Look at this. He's going 3 wide in the middle. He comes together with the 04 truck of Roper, and he goes up and over on the front straightaway at Dover. I don't think I've seen someone flip at Dover since, what, Joey Logano in 2009, or I think there was an Xfinity flip in like 2012 area, or maybe 11 or something like that with, I think it was, what, Clint Boyer and Carl Edwards or something involved now. As we get back underway, though, from that caution, I was pretty happy about that, to be honest, with the caution coming out, because, well, that groups us all back together, and we have a better opportunity now to work our way through Sheldon Creed, Jonathan Ramos, Davin Cornelius, Crafton pretty quick, and then hopefully put the hunt to that number 4 of John Hunter Nemechek. We're going to get aggressive 3 wide through the middle there with now IDK player on my outside, Creed on the inside. We clear them both, and up into 4th, around the outside of Davin Cornelius, who's having a superb run here again today in Dover in the 3rd position, but it's not going to last for long because I'm about to take that 3rd spot away as we sail it off into turns 3 and 4, and sure enough, easy clear of that 77 of Cornelius just about, but he fights back for a brief moment but didn't quite have enough, and then we would quickly run down the number 88 of Matt Crafton. I know I don't have a lot of time to waste at this point. We only have 14 laps to go, so I said, you know what, Matt, get out of my way. I get right to his back bumper, give him the bumper, a multi-time Truck Series champion. I just said, get out of the way, I'm coming through. So we go up into 2nd place, and it was just a matter of time until we run down the number 4 of John Hunter Nemechek. You can see with 10 laps to go, we are reeling him in there. That KBM Toyota Tundra is not going to have a whole lot for us. We've done such a good job saving our tires in stage 2 that we can abuse them in stage 3, and we got to his back bumper here just a lap later. 9 laps to go into turn 3. I'm going to do the same thing I did to Crafton, just give him the bumper. I said, get out of my way, I'm coming through, and I'm going to clear John Hunter Nemechek and drive away, set sail from that 4, and just hope that we don't get a caution here, and it's pretty unlikely we get a caution at this point now. To 4 laps to go, we had stretched the gap out to nearly 2 seconds on John Hunter Nemechek. What a job we did, especially in stage stage 2, saving those tires for this final stage, because we come through out of turn 4 to start the final lap in Dover. We make it to the white flag, and we're looking to punch our ticket into the next round of the playoffs, and just the first race of the playoffs here, which would just be the most comforting thing possible here, of course. But we have a bunch of good tracks other than a mile-and-a-half track at Homestead, Miami. We at least have Bristol coming up, and we won our first ever truck race at Bristol earlier in the season. So this is a round that really plays to my strengths, and we prove that as we come through out of turn 4. We will win the first race of the playoffs in Dover, win number 3 on the season for this BWT number 66 Silverado. As you see the rest of the field coming through to cross the line, Nemechek there in second, Crafton in third, Creed right there side by side with Hocevar to the line as everybody else comes through, as we would get to do a nice burnout there for the 3rd time on the season. And I feel like we're starting to really pick up the consistency with this team, and just really starting to heat up, and it might be happening at the perfect time here. Obviously, you couldn't pick any other time other than the playoffs when you would want maybe things to start clicking with your team, the consistency and just the wins, hopefully. So everything looking good so far here, and we were locked into the next round of the playoffs. There you see the playoff situation. We are locked. John Hunter isn't mathematically locked, but if he finishes in the next race, he's already locked on points, so that's why I just put him at locked. But you can see that Deegan, Enfinger, Kraus, Smith, they're all 10 plus points below the cut line. So they need a lot of help coming into the next race at Homestead, Miami, as well as Bristol there. As we come through to the Xfinity updates, Justin Allgaier would actually pick up the victory here at Dover over Daniel Hemrick, Maya Snyder, as well as Almendinger and the one of Annette. There you see Cozy actually had a top 10 run here today, just beat David Sheldos by 1 position there, as they both end up 7th and 8th place here at Dover. So some strong runs as the Xfinity playoffs were getting underway at this point here. And now Sheldos, 2 wins in the regular season in the Xfinity Series, one of the contenders there. As you see, Martin Truex Jr., he won the Cup race over his JGR teammate Denny Hamlin, Logano, and Kyle Busch there in the top 5 as well. As you see the rest of the field coming through to cross the line, as Cup Series playoffs as well are in full swing at this point. But then we jump through into the second and final truck race on the day here in Homestead, Miami. Starts in Sunset, ends under the lights here in Miami. My favorite mile-and-a-half on the schedule, so I always look forward to coming here. But it started with a pretty rough qualifying effort. We were down towards the bottom half of the teens. We were down towards the 20th position as we would get this race underway. So 45 laps here in Miami, stage 1 and 2, both 10 laps apiece, and 25 laps there in stage 3 to conclude this race. And guess who was on pole? Shocker there, John Hunter Nemechek once again. He won stage 2 and or 1 and 2 in Dover, and here he is trying to pick up right where he left off, just about from those stages, with now a pole position. Now as you see Creed and Ben Rhodes there up in the mix. Now, as I knew, these mile-and-a-halves, like I said at the very beginning of this video, they haven't really played to my strengths. It's just the tire saving at mile-and-a-halves is so much more significant for me, and I just can't figure it out there, as we were going briefly 4 wide through the center of 3 and 4, but we were making up some good ground, and I was actually enjoying being up top. That's where I'm most comfortable on a racetrack, or at least on an oval, is when I'm able to get up here close to the wall. So every time we come to Miami, I always look forward to it, because we can try and make it happen. So there you see me just trying to rip that top the best I can here, but obviously the danger of running that top line is, well, knocking the right side of your truck down off of the wall. So we gotta at least try and be a little bit conservative with that, but I can tell you right now that I certainly made some mistakes when I was trying to learn that right there out of turn 4. I hit the wall, and that was just on lap 3, so a mistake already, and I didn't hit it too hard, so I wasn't too concerned. Now as we're behind Haley Deegan now on at lap 7, and then, well, I would hit it again through turns 1 and 2, and this time I got it into it quite enough to really set me back. So we do some damage to the truck, and immediately I'm like, okay, I got to settle down a little bit there from that. We were almost done stage 1 though, so it was just about bringing it home at this point, and we were down in 19th place, exactly where we started this first and opening stage at here. So this was not a good opening stage at all for myself. It was a pretty lousy one, to say the least here, as John Hunter Nemechek, shocker there, would as well hang on to the lead through 3 and out of turn 4. John Hunter Nemechek is going to win stage 1 over Sheldon Creed there in 2nd place. So John Hunter, no chance he's getting eliminated, even if he loses this race as well. He's going to lock himself in on points at this point. Zane Smith, Kraft, and Jonathan Ramos there rounding out the top 5 as we come through to cross the line in the 19th position. So there was potential pit stops I was thinking about here at the end of stage 1, especially with the right side damage, and, well, fortunately just about everybody would pit there, and actually drove into the back of the 38 of Gilliland coming into the pit box that was not prepared for that stack up. Now, here was a bit of a curveball, though. John Hunter Nemechek and Sheldon Creed both stay out at the end of stage 1, so they are on old tires. And when I say old, we're talking 10-lap old tires. And Corey Roper as well stays out there. Well, that's not going to be much of a threat. He is going to be a threat because he's going to be a roadblock, of course. But both Creed and Nemechek are going to be sitting ducks basically here in stage 2, and it's not even 10 laps of racing in stage 2, so there is a bit of a positive for them. They might have an opportunity to remain inside some stage points paying positions, but they're going to really have to fight for it. There you see Matt O'Brien ripping the top there, and that 26 Craftsman Silverado now, as he's going to be potentially 4 wide just about there on the exit of turn 4, as you see Roper's just in the way. I'm trying to slice and dice my way through the traffic. We had to make some repairs on the truck at the end of stage 1, so we were of course a little bit further behind compared to what I wanted to be. Now as we're going to try and look to the inside of Hocevar, we're 3 wide in the middle, maybe even 4 wide in the middle for a brief moment there, as we're very close there. I briefly made some contact with Ryan Truex's quarter panel, but nothing comes out of it, nothing develops, thank goodness, and we continue on our way, still 3 wide in the middle for the time being, with Sauter on the inside there as we dive down into turn 3, trying to get a move on with it, but as well as I was trying to save my tires again, just like we did in Dover in stage 2. But I didn't know if there was going to be maybe more pit stops potentially coming here at the end of the stage or not, but now we come through right to the final lap of stage 2 out of turn 4 down the front straightaway. So it wasn't, you know, a great stage for us because we crossed the line and it is a 21st place finish there. I forgot to show the stage end there under the replay cameras, but it was Ben Rhodes who won stage 2, and John Hunter Nemechek and Sheldon Creed would both make their way into the pit lane at the conclusion of stage 2, while everybody up here stayed out, but a bunch of trucks towards the back as well pitted. So Ben Rhodes, Davin Cornelius, P1, P2 for the start of this third and final stage here in Homestead, Miami, the second race of the first round of the playoffs underway here in this final stage, and Ben Rhodes looks to punch his ticket into the next round and join myself as the drivers that are locked in to the second round here now. Rhodes won earlier this season at the Daytona road course and hasn't shown up a whole lot since then, but here he is winning stage 2 and in position to potentially win the race here tonight. Now as I spent stage 2 once again saving tires, so now I know I can push a little bit here at the start of stage 3, and hopefully we can make a nice difference there, as you see John Hunter and Sheldon Creed already moving their way forwards quite well here through the pack. Now 20 laps remaining is all we have here now, as it's crucial to make sure while I'm running this top line to not knock the wall down in the process. Now as we're to the outside of that 29 of Joey Stone, we clear him and we continue to move our way forwards relatively quickly here. Now I was a little bit concerned that I might have been pushing a little bit too hard on these tires now as we come through the center of 3 and 4. Friesen on the inside. There was a couple trucks in this race where the schemes unfortunately refused to load, as you can see there with the 16 of Austin Hill as well. Nothing we can do about that, but we would work our way up into the 6th position after passing those drivers, and then unfortunately we kind of flatlined right here in P6, and I was happy that we had enough pace to get up to P6, but what happened was here in these closing laps, I burnt up my tires, and John Hunter had run me down with 10 laps to go. He was flying. He was an absolute rocket, and he would go to my inside, get clear through the center of the corner, but we still have enough momentum built up on the outside to where we can actually fight our way back alongside him here down the back straightaway, but of course we just don't have a lot of pace, so it was just a matter of time until he officially gets clear and drives away, and that was going to happen right here in 3 and 4 pretty much. So now I realize that we burnt up those tires too much, and now we're trying to hang on to the end of the race, but it doesn't help when you make a mistake and put yourself in the wall on the exit of turn 4 with 9 laps to go. So we were really struggling to hang on in these closing laps now with 5 to go. Sheldon Creed finally gets to my inside, and he is just going to blow my doors right off. It's just absolutely insane how much I had destroyed this right front tire specifically here now, and I had nothing. I really couldn't fight anybody. If they got to me, they would just breeze right on past me, so it was very unfortunate. I just had to try and cover the lines, and we come through to start the final couple of laps here in Homestead, Miami, and we got Chandler Smith just behind. He's going to look to my inside as well, and I just, like I said, don't really have anything to fight with these guys. There's a little bit of speed on the exit, but not enough. We get cleared by that 18 of Smith there. Earlier, I would be able to have a nice run down the back and be able to stay alongside at least, but we just didn't have that anymore. Final lap underway here in Homestead, Miami. It's Ben Rhodes leading the way into 1 and 2 down the back straightaway there, as I'm going a little bit defensive over Austin Hill there behind myself in that Toyota number 16 truck as we come through the center and exit now of turn 2. I mean, still nonetheless pretty happy that we're hanging on to a top 10, but Ben Rhodes will win here in Homestead, Miami for his second win on the season, locks himself into the second round of the playoffs. Crafton second, Nemechek rebounds the third, Matt O'Brien with a strong 4th place finish, and there you saw Cornelius there in P5 as we come through to hang on to a top 10 finish, thank goodness here, after really abusing those right front tires. So overall, a relatively decent finish for us. I was pretty happy with that. As you see the finishing order on your screen, I will have the playoff update at the beginning of the next episode, where we will both finish this first round at Bristol and start the second round of the playoffs. And we will be making our final Xfinity start of the season at the Charlotte Roval. And hopefully after that, well, we will have an opportunity to sign an Xfinity deal. As always, if you guys enjoyed, you know what to do. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time of your day to watch this episode and other ones on the channel. Thank you to the members as well. You'll be at the end of this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, everybody.